The documentary, Working Class White Men, was born of a statistic, really, that if you're white and working class, you're least likely to end up in university, you're most likely to end up in prison or an addict.
And in the film, he traces the lives of 6 working class men and their journeys. One's homeless, another one's just come out of prison, and just charts their experiences and the things that happen to them in their lives, things that have happened to them, and kind of looks at what society could be doing to make life easier for working class men.
A lot of it comes down to what's encouraged and what you see in your family. You know, and if for generations no one's ever gone to university, and then to go to university is not something that's really on the cards for many people.
Young people join gangs for a number of different reasons. A lot of them are coming from deprived backgrounds. They haven't got a secure family. They're coming from broken homes. They want significance. They want to feel like they're part of something, like they're part of a group. A lot of them will say they join a gang because it's like a family to them. Often they have trouble staying in school. They feel like they haven't got the skills necessary to find work, so they join these groups to get those skills, possibly to make money and to progress in something that's sort of parallel to mainstream society.
People are really disengaged, disenfranchised. There's a lack of aspirations. There's a lack of hope. There's a real hopelessness. You know, from travelling about and meeting people, there is a real hopelessness. And the sad thing is that there's an anger and an unrest that is justified, but all too often that is leveraged, and that anger and unrest is then pointed in the wrong direction.
Offending by young people and by adults constitutes only one part of a much broader, more complex identity. Offending, when it does start, tends to start in early to mid-adolescence, and most tend to stop offending by the time they reach adulthood naturally.
Unfortunately, what we're seeing at the minute is a lot of young people being criminally exploited by gangs, purely because a lot of them are growing up with no positive role models, because they're in deprivation, and it's easy to exploit somebody that's got nothing.
For some people, their infrastructure, their schooling's very poor, their housing's very poor, there's no aspiration for them, there's nowhere for them to go. They feel like they've been left out of society.
I don't think we'll ever stop young people from joining gangs. I think what needs to happen is a big emphasis on education.
What's important is that we work towards building their and improving their life chances, which means employment opportunities, adequate, proper employment opportunities, proper housing, etc., and not to solely focus on their offending and the harms that they have caused.
If there was one thing that anyone could come away from today, hopefully it would bring some challenge to preconceptions. Yeah, it'd be nice to make people think about things a bit differently.